What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni, and welcome to the next Paramotor session right here. Have you ever seen a plane fly by? Me too. One thing that was new to me on this paramotoring day, though, was being above the plane when it happens and having a great view on it from above and filming the whole thing. And also having my first part collapse on the wing, or partly. So this was a really interesting day, to say the least. So let's jump right into it, guys. Oh, and by the way, if you like this content, you want to see more of it, guys, then subscribe to the channel for more paramotor content. As you see right here, the starting conditions were already quite tricky. We were having a bit of difficulty starting. The wind was kind of there, but it was not, very even, so we were having quite a few, hurdles to get across here by starting. But then we went up and it was all going great so far. I had looked at the whole analytics of the day and it all looked great for flying. However, one thing I didn't look into detail is how the wind conditions would be higher above, like in 400, 500, 600 meters, altitude. This is something that I now do, but I didn't do it then when I recorded this footage, okay? So it happens that although I thought it was all gonna be smooth and great to fly, turned out that in higher altitudes there were quite some wind conditions waiting for us. And this, by the way, is also the first time I ever flew not alone, except outside of my paramotor training, where I had here my new friend Lucas here, him and me, we're gonna be flying from time to time, and you see these great moments together, although this is just with one GoPro, sadly, at the moment, but I'm in the process of getting a lot more camera angles. I already ordered like a dual magnet kind of thing that I can attach to the glider and have a top-down view on me with a paraglider. And also I'm gonna work on one thing that I put on my foot so I can, have a kind of a video log perspective on myself with the wing in the back, right? And the motor. So a lot more camera angles and a lot more goodness is coming on this channel here. I'm in the process of making that happen. But for now, we were here just flying and we made a plan, like, okay, there is this mountain that we just go towards and we fly around it and we can come back, right? This was kind of our plan, so we were heading towards it, and at this point it was all good. Nothing was, out of the ordinary. Everything was fine and pretty cool. And here I was getting closer to him from behind, and then I was like, hey man, maybe this isn't the best idea for me to do, to get into his, wind channel behind his motor right there. Maybe I should, go a little bit further to the left to not be straight right there in his trail of whatever I'm not sure how these things are called in English. I'm German and I'm doing this whole channel in English mostly because that's where most of my viewers are also from, I think. So there are a few vocabularies that I'm still gonna have to learn. And we were getting closer and closer to this mountain that we were gonna go to, and yeah, and then suddenly we saw it coming, the plane. It just came out of nowhere, right here. You would already see it here, but it's not, you can't see it. It's just not, although we should be able to see it. There it is. You see this little thing? It's not even, I think it, how much distance is that? Maybe 50 meters, maybe 80, 90 meters, top 100 tops. I don't think we're further away than 100 meters. And in the video footage, I can even hear the engine of the plane being louder than my own engine, even though I'm so close to my own engine. There's a tiny little increase in sound, but it's noticeable if you really take a look at the spikes. So you see that there is actually a spiky outbreak of sound coming from this plane. And here's a little bit of a more zoomed in perspective from above. And this was literally the first time in my life that I've seen a plane from above while it's flying by. So that was a really cool experience right there. And I'm pretty sure with the traffic's going on here, because there was also passenger planes flying above us, I stayed within the limits of where I should be able to fly with no problems to anybody. But at the same time, there was these huge passenger planes flying above me, like just a couple of 100 meters, maybe 400 meters or something above us. So that was also pretty impressive. Normally they are, further away from you unless they're landing, and we were still having a bit of a distance to them, but yeah, it was getting closer. And quite a lot of traffic here. And this is, by the way, the moment when we're getting closer to this mountain. You can see the mountain here coming in from the left side of the camera angle. And then I was starting to feel a lot of bumpy rides, and you see what's going on, right? The camera is on the shoulder here, to my right. It was attached here, and suddenly I was dipping, and the barometer showed me like a dip of like 4 meters per second diving down, or 3 meters, and then it went back up, and then I heard it, the noise of the wing collapse. And here it is in this moment. It was getting so bumpy all of a sudden, and then you even heard the glider like doing the collapse on one side and then opening back up. And then I turned away and I wanted to get back in safety, and then another one happened. A second collapse right after. And this was the moment when I said to myself, hey man, I'm gonna go away from this position here. I don't know what's going on right here, but I don't like it here. I don't want to get back. I just want to get back into where I want to feel safe and just, you know, stay calm. And so I went back with him, and we went back and landed. Which you're gonna see. This right here is the collapse. Do you see this? So there is a dive in, a dip in altitude, and then followed by a little increase in altitude, and I was dragged to the left side. From your perspective, it was this way. I was dragged to the left, right? So that is a very interesting thing. So there's this collapse came together with a lose of altitude and followed by a little gain of altitude, which in the end was still a loss. But this is what it looked like in a very accurate display, and this was the second collapse to the left side right there. The second collapse was not anymore it was not that severe because I was going downwind already, so I had a lot of movement on my own. So the little change of this collapse didn't really draw a lot of difference on this line. But at the first beginning, or in the first collapse, we were heading against the wind with very slow speed. So every little thing that happened was going to be drawn very accurately because we were heading so slow. And that's why you saw this massive dip by the increase afterwards, and how we were dragged to the left, which is in the wind direction that was coming. It was coming from the right to the left side, the wind. I always just have to do it differently because you see me from the front. But yeah, that was my first and my second collapse within a few seconds together, and it was the first time I saw a plane from above. So what a day. What a day. And although I know there's gonna be a lot of people out there who might be worried, from now on, I'll promise I'll be checking the wind speed in various altitudes as well, which is something I should have done at this day. And as if this wasn't enough already, it started to frickin' rain on our way back as well. Although it was just very little rain. It was tiny little mini drops, right? It was just enough for me to realize it is actually raining because I had the windshield in front of me, so I saw the little, you know, raindrops on the windshield. I was like, oh no, are you kidding me? And then you can see it even here on the GoPro. it got one right to the lens, the little drop. Don't worry, the drop is gonna go away in a few seconds. It dried out super quick, and then it's no more visible. But this is proof to you guys. It started to rain a little bit back there when we were heading back to the landing, and this is the final approach. So we were basically already there. But at the same time, I was also thinking to myself, man, if we had continued with our plan, keeping on around the frickin' hill and then going back, and who knows how long it would have taken us, because we were heading against so much strong wind that we didn't really make much distance, right? We were really slow forward against the wind, so who knows how long it would have taken us to get around this frickin' mountain. And in the end, I guess the result would have been that maybe would have cut the rain completely, which didn't start for a few minutes after we landed. But, you know, if we had taken longer on the flight, you know, that would have been a different outcome maybe. I don't want to be caught in the rain flying paramotor, because there is a danger of losing your oh man, I could explain it in German. Basically, you'd be more likely to lose your altitude or basically get into a stall. You'd be getting a lot more likely to have a stall on your glider. A back stall, maybe, I'm not sure. So we were coming down for a landing here, and I was happy to finally approach the ground. And now I'm finally able to say I truly understand the saying that my flight instructor told me when I was at the thing. He basically told me then, because I was always hot of getting up in the skies. I wanted to fly all the time, even when the wind conditions were kind of crazy, right? So, and he told me, man, you're better on the ground wishing you were up there than being up there wishing you had been on the ground, right? So, I finally understand these words. Because I did wish I was on the ground when I had these collapses there. There's Lucas coming in with also a nice landing, and yeah, so this was the moment I knew it's all good now, and there is something to learn from this, right? So yeah, let's learn from this and make more videos coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and comment down below, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe as brutal as a man can hit for more. Thanks for bearing with me. You guys are awesome as always. Manni signing off. Bye bye.